What's good, everybody? Welcome to Outside the Playbook. I am going to be talking about why Michael Jordan is my selection for greatest of all time. I'm not going to be explaining why LeBron is not, why Kobe is not, why Kareem is not, because I don't have to tear down anybody else's legacy. Give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, click the link down below in the description to get discounts on brands like Fanatics, Dad Gang, Dubby. Let's get to it.
Everybody wants to know what I would do if I didn't win. I guess we'll never know.
Now, I already know what you did. See, you ran straight to the comments section and you wanted to remind everybody that Michael didn't win anything without Scottie. Now, listen, we already know that. Well aware, didn't win a playoff series, didn't reach a conference finals, didn't win an NBA championship. That is a fact. Things we're going to address as far as the things that people say about Michael Jordan not being the greatest of all time. And then I'm going to go into the list of things, the list of reasons why I feel he is the greatest of all time. Like I said, I don't have to talk about LeBron, Kobe, Kareem, Magic, Wilt. I don't have to talk about them in a negative light to prop up Michael Jordan. That's toxic conversation that we don't need to have in this argument. Now, going back to the start of this, where we said Michael Jordan didn't win a thing without Scottie Pippen. That is a fact, but response number one to that is when you say that he didn't win a thing, rings don't really matter in the grand scheme because that's a team achievement. Playoff success is really team success. So what you really want to know is, who is Michael Jordan without Scottie Pippen? That would be year one where he played a full season, year two where he missed about 64 games, going into that one just yet. So looking at year one, 28, 6 and 6.5, and he's top 6 in MVP, rookie of the year. He's an all-star, NBA second team. And then you look at that following season, broken foot, missed a ton of games, played 18, started 7. He was still voted as an all-star, but going into that playoffs versus arguably the greatest team of all time, he puts up about 44, 6 and 6. And walking away from that, Larry Bird, who was the best player in the NBA at that time, arguably, says Michael Jordan was actually God disguised as Michael Jordan in that series. Now, going into that following season, you already knew there was going to be a leap. But to say that you saw 37 points, 2.9 explosion, second in MVP, top 10 in Defensive Player of the Year, All-Star, and All-NBA first team. That is who Michael Jordan was as an individual without Scottie Pippen. Now, everybody's going to bring up the team success aspect. Here's my response number two. When you look at the fact that going into those playoff series, you're playing the greatest team of all time at that time in the Boston Celtics back-to-back, 6 All-Stars, 5 Hall of Famers, and it's just you, there's no way you're going to have any type of success in that scenario. Of the top 11 players in the rotation, 4 of which were averaging between 10 and 22 points per game while Michael Jordan was out for the majority of that season. That is a big deal. They are trying to tank. They're trying to lose games. They do not want to have success because they want to draft high and build a team around Michael Jordan. While on the other hand, Michael Jordan, who doesn't have a single bone in his body that is going to tell him to try and lose games, was doing everything in his power to succeed, get his team to the playoffs. The organization and Michael Jordan were pulling in two different directions, so much so that the front office threatened to fire Doug Collins on the spot if he played MJ above a certain amount of minutes that they allowed, simply because they wanted to make sure they maintained their high draft position. Now, moving on to the next argument that people like to make. Michael Jordan only beat the Detroit Pistons when they had gotten older. Now, let's look at the flip side. The Detroit Pistons always have the claim that they beat Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and Michael Jordan in the same playoffs. No other team in NBA history can say they did that. Fine, I'll give you that because guess what? It's a fact. Wins and losses are facts in the record books. But to add a little bit more context, Detroit beat the Lakers. Detroit also beat the Boston Celtics. Both of those teams, when they lost to the Detroit Pistons, were older than the Pistons when the Bulls beat them. On top of that, Dennis Rodman was a 4-year player at that time. Joe Dumars, a 5-year player, both of whom are in the Hall of Fame. So you still have 3 Hall of Fame players in the primes of their career playing great basketball. I think that is a valid win in Michael Jordan and Chicago Bulls book. Not one of those situations where they say, you know what, injuries, their time was up. They were the 2-time defending champions, and they got swept in the playoffs by Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls. I'm taking that as a win. The next conversation everybody loves to have is competition. Who did you play? When you say this, they want to talk about who did you guard? Who guarded you? There's a number of footage that shows Michael Jordan guarding players like Larry Bird, Dominique Wilkins, Clyde Drexler, Magic Johnson, and vice versa. But when you look at the competition that he faced as teams, you look at the Detroit Pistons, Boston Celtics, 76ers, the Atlanta Hawks, Miami Heat, Orlando Magic, Los Angeles Lakers, Utah Jazz, Sonics, Suns, Blazers, Hornets. That sounds like competition to me. Let's take a step further. There's a number of 50-win teams that he beat in the playoffs. There's a number of 60-win teams that he beat in the playoffs that I can look at right now. Utah Jazz multiple times. He beat the Orlando Magic and the Supersonics in the playoffs in 1 year. 4 teams that were absolutely difficult to beat, and they made it look easy. Now, we can have conversations about who guarded him, but every single great player is going to go after matchups. Every single great player is going to outshine the person guarding them, be superior. I'm not going to blame any player in any era for who's in front of them. You still have a job to do, and the fact that he was still able to do that at a supremely high level, that's all we can ask from a player, because guess what? You can't pick and choose who you play against. You have to eat the plate that is set in front of you. MJ did just that. The biggest argument against Michael Jordan's claim to being the greatest of all time has been the Defensive Player of the Year. See, analysts have come out with new information saying that the numbers that Michael Jordan had in that season were inflated. Well, guess what? Every single great player has inflated numbers when they play at home. Your response is going to be, well, Michael Jordan's numbers are the highest inflation rate in NBA history. I will concede that point. But I have film. I have footage. I've watched full games. I've watched breakdowns and highlight reels. And one thing you can never argue against is the fact that Michael Jordan was an elite defender. On ball and off ball, he was that more dangerous. Getting into passing lanes, deflections, block shots from the weak side, on ball, moving his feet, cutting people off, making people pick up their dribble, turn, making it difficult for them to get the ball up the court and get it across half court. B-ball breakdown went in depth into this concept, but I wholeheartedly agree with the conclusion he came to. Yes, you can make the argument about the numbers, the blocks, the steals, the inflation, and you can also see 100% there were flaws to Michael Jordan's defensive ability, but they were greatly outshined and outweighed by every single thing he brought to that side of the basketball, and he was not afraid to guard anybody at any given time. And guess what? Great players had great games against Mike. Every single great player is going to have great games against another great player. Every single player is going to have a great game against a great defender. It happens. It is the most prestigious basketball league in the entire world. But more often than not, we see Michael Jordan making great plays, making great timely stops, guarding the basketball, and displaying elite defensive prowess. That is the reason why Michael Jordan was voted Defensive Player of the Year that season, along with being the MVP of the league. Now, moving away from that conversation, here's some things that I think make Michael Jordan the greatest of all time. We're going to get to one particular stat at the end of this. Michael Jordan, Hall of Fame, 14-time All-Star, 3-time Steals champ, 11-time All-NBA, Rookie of the Year, All-Star Game MVP, 5-time MVP, 10-time scoring champ, 6-time NBA champ, Rookie of the Year, All-Rookie, 9-time All-Defensive Team, Defensive Player of the Year, and 6-time Finals MVP, NBA 75th Anniversary Team member. For his career, he averaged 30 points, 6.2 rebounds, 5.2 assists, 49.7 from the field, 83.5 from the free throw line, and 32.7 from 3. Player efficiency rating. Yes, he has the highest points per game average in NBA history. We know that. But when we look at him as a player, and everybody says how selfish and unwilling to pass the basketball he was, the man averaged 5.3 assists per game. That is 6th all-time at his position, and also he is 6th all-time in total assists at his position. Another stat, everybody loves to talk about Michael Jordan was 6 for 6 in the NBA Finals. That is the end-all be-all. I'm not on that train because guess what? To me, that is not what made Michael the greatest of all time. It's what those 6 mean. See, in the 80s, it was hard for him to get out of the first round. Then it was hard for him to get ahead of the Detroit Pistons. That 6 for 6 in the 90s is what happens when you respond to adversity the way he responded to it. He was getting beat up by the Pistons. Okay, I'm going to get in the weight room. I'm going to get stronger, and I'm going to be more dominant. Okay, now I'm having dominant performances against the bully on the block. Let me get all my guys to rally around this. Scotty, you're going to guard me. You're going to play against me in practice. We're not going to be on the same team. Iron sharpens iron. We come back. We dethrone the Pistons, and now we're running roughshod over the entire 90s. Okay, I'm going to retire, come back, and now we're just going to pick up where we left off. Wait a minute. Orlando Magic have something to say about that. We lose in somewhat embarrassing fashion by Mike's standards. 45 isn't the same as 23. And then 23 returns and we still lose. Okay, I'm going to sit on this, work like crazy throughout the summertime, come back, we're going to go 72-10, and then we're going to sweep the Orlando Magic in dominant fashion, and we're going to win the championship versus another 60-win team in the NBA Finals. Adversity. I'm not so big on perfection. I'm big on how do you respond when the deck is stacked against you. I didn't see him quit. I didn't see him walk away from the game. I didn't see him complain and ask for better players and all this other stuff when he was getting his butt whooped in the 80s. I saw Mike give his absolute all. 63 points versus the Boston Celtics in the playoffs. How defensively great that team was. And you're going to go out swinging like that. That's what I look for. Not just winning all the time, running roughshod over the league, dominant when you're up. No, it's how you respond when you're down low. You're in high school and you get cut from the basketball team, but now you're in the NCAA tournament, championship game. You hit the game winner for one of the most prestigious college programs in history, and then you go on to the NBA where now we're talking about you as one of the greatest of all time. Adversity is what made Mike great. It wasn't perfection. Now, when I look at the field, I think LeBron James has a claim in this argument to be the greatest of all time. I think Kareem Abdul-Jabbar has a say in this conversation, and some would even include Kobe in that. I don't have to tear any of these players down to prop up MJ. I can respect the others, have my choice, and we can still have a great conversation about the game that we love. Give this video a like, subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments, who is your selection for greatest of all time? That's one more for the good guys. What's good? Check. We good? Everything sound good? Everything sound clean? It's just me. Feel like Uso. Whole lot of nonsense is going on this week. Whole lot of nonsense. Shannon Sharp done got caught up again. Let's see what else we got going on here. Just gonna give people a minute to pop in if they gonna pop in. If not, we good. We good. It's a Thursday. Feel like it's Friday. I wish we could play copyrighted music. We can't. I'll be playing live on stage every single time I go live. Every single time. If you popping in, drop something in the chat. Drop something in the chat if you popping in. Yeah. If you in the chat, say something. Let me know. All right, we ready to go? All right, let's cook. Wind it down. It wasn't a situation where he was exonerated, right? Well, what he did, he made sure he didn't stop doing those things while the trial was going, or while the case was brewing and stuff like that, while the lawsuit was brewing. Made sure he kept doing his show like nothing happened. Stayed locked in, so you can keep that same rapport, continue to build your audience throughout the process of that lawsuit, man. But that's crazy. Then you got the situation with Gil, and I don't know if I can pull it up. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. The situation with Gilbert Arenas, and he got caught up because I guess there was an Airbnb that him and a bunch of other people was using, and then it was like some illegal stuff going on at a poker game because of somebody else being there. He was kind of lumped in with everybody. I don't really know the situation. Let me see. me see what he say. Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go.
Arrested today.
All right, there we go.
Games were played at a mansion Gil owned, to which Gilbert Arenas pleaded not guilty and was released on a $50K bond and posted this to his Instagram saying, "I'm back on the block like it's hot. This ain't got shit to do with me. Just rented the house, wasn't part of the festivities. Hashtag snitching Gil coming soon. Hashtag 51-0 the Mayweather of court."
Free. You better not.
A great reaction to the arrest.
Oh, what's going on today? God damn. God. Oh, man. Hey. It's over, man. It's over, man. Stupid motherfucker gone, man. They got him.
Sorry about the language.
God damn, man. We just got out, man. I just got out, man. I do fingerprints and shit, man. They just got us, man. Hey, but don't worry. Don't worry about the show or nothing. Gilbert, don't worry about Gil's Arena. I got that now. We might as well just change the show to Swaggy's Arena. And in conjunctions with Gilbert. We're going to put a little Gilbert sign on the side. It's still Swaggy's Arena until you come back home. Huh? And once you get out, it's back to you. But for now, I got it. I got that. All right? It's just, welcome to Swaggy. And don't trip. Because where you going, you can be comfortable. They got TVs. I'm going to send you all the updates. You can make all your bets on Underdog. Do whatever you want. You still there. You know, I seen you, you know, the feds say, when the feds, oh shit. Yeah, man. Got his stupid ass. And that's my brother, too. I love him. But he's stupid. Just say him. The coldest nigga. I mean, you know. Everybody, I'm going to get a t-shirt that say Free Gil. Boy, I never thought I'd see that. Whatever he said, whatever y'all in conjunction with Gilbert's Monday through Thursday, neither. Cause I'm tired of his.
Oh yeah, this is what he said about
Yeah, be coming through a theater near you. We gonna be. I don't want Ken on there neither. Cause I'm tired of his shit too. I'm tired of Ken fucking with me. They need to take his ass to jail too. You know, just take them all.
Kmart might put hands on this man. He just might put hands on this man this time. But he got cooked. Gil got cooked, and then Shannon Sharp got cooked. He said something about it. Let me see where he at. He talked about it on a, like he. Let me see. And this is what bothers me about this is y'all making Cat Williams look like a prophet. Everybody making Cat Williams look like a prophet right now. He said something about Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry got tied up. Tied up, untied. I don't know what the situation with that is. But yeah, man. Let me see. Yeah, this was,
Hello, it's your favorite sports thunk here. Don't
Shannon
forget
Sharp's
to hit
message.
that subscribe button to join the fastest growing community on YouTube. Remember, Nightcap doesn't happen without you. So please subscribe or you're going to make Ocho cry. Before we get started, obviously, I'm sure everybody's heard the news by now that I will not be returning to ESPN. I found out this information a little earlier in the week. And really, the only thing that I really ask is like, guys, could we wait until Monday? My brother's going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I really wanted to be about him, and I wanted to be about my family. I know this coming out will overshadow everything that he's worked his entire life for. And unfortunately, you know, it didn't happen that way. And so as I told him, as I profusely apologized to him earlier today, he said, bro, stop apologizing. You don't have to apologize. I'm your big bro. I'm going to love you regardless. We all make mistakes. And he says, bro, I love you. So I'm done with this. You're done with it too. Move on. And I really enjoyed my time at ESPN. It gave me an opportunity to bring my audience that saw me really just grow. They saw me, Lakers in 5, and they saw me say all these analogies that my grandparents gave me, and I was able to bring that to ESPN. So I'm very, very grateful for that. But I just wished, of all things, like I said, hey, they did what they felt they needed to do, and I'm at peace with that. But I just wish, guys, this thing could have waited until Monday, because I hate the fact that I'm overshadowing my brother, the first 2 brothers in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and this is what the headline's going to be for the next couple of days. So, bro, again, I know you told me this, I don't have to apologize, but I'm going to do it one final time tonight, and I won't apologize again. I'm sorry that I upstaged you.
My biggest issue with this is, man, it was Michelle. I remembered. It was Michelle. Wasn't no Cheryl. It was Michelle. After dealing with Michelle and that live, you went live on Instagram. You should have just chilled out, man. Lay low. Stay out the way. And you know what? That was probably what triggered the rest of the lawsuit. Because she was like, oh, you linking up with other people? Bet. I just think, when you got the bag from ESPN after the Fox situation, after Skip Bayless and all that, when you got the bag, you should have just chilled, stayed out the way. And you know what? Meek Mill posted this. He said, y'all too old to keep getting fired. And he right. All you had to do was go to work, go home, do your podcast, and just chill. Stay out the way. Like Cat Williams said, man, you was going to get caught up sooner or later, and you did. I ain't saying, everybody perfect. Nobody's perfect, but some things you kind of leave yourself vulnerable to, and this is one of those things. But he was dope on ESPN. I thought he had some great moments. Didn't always agree with his takes, but him and Stephen A. had a rapport. They had some chemistry. Him coming back for the NFL would have been nice, but like I said, when he settled, that killed that, because they probably like, hey, that doesn't mean you're innocent in this whole situation. So it is what it is. It is what it is. Man, that's tough too. That is tough. That is so tough. It's like everything with Friday still relevant, man. Still relevant. The whole, if you get into it with them, I gotta live here, you don't, still relevant. Getting fired on your day off, still relevant, 100%, because that keeps happening to people, especially on ESPN. Everybody keep getting fired on their day off. What we got to talk about next is something that's been bothering me. We ain't even gonna get to that stuff yet. Hold on, let's pump the brakes. One of the Morris twins got locked up, and it's kind of like still, a good chance he was gonna come back. A Morris twin getting locked up, we seen that coming from a mile away. Being give and takes, doing something scandalous, getting into some trouble, fighting, getting in trouble with the law, writing bad checks, getting in trouble with the law, something like that. They always into it with the law about something. Yeah, then you had Daryl Morey out of nowhere. I didn't listen to it, just read it. Daryl Morey dropped a soundbite saying the LA Lakers 2020 championship, the bubble ring, it don't really count. That's not my take. I know it's a lot of people, especially Lakers fans, LeBron's fans, they will fight tooth and nail for that championship. Me personally, a ring is a ring. You did what you had to do. There's other people there. They all had an opportunity to win that championship. Only one team walked away with it. So, yeah, it is a legit championship, but circumstances are a little different, right? There's no travel. Not all the players were able to participate because the shortened season, just different things like that. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, I see what you're saying, but there was a bunch of other teams in that bubble that simply just didn't get it done. I mean, if you look at who was that, the Utah Jazz blew a 3-1 lead Okay. Denver Nuggets came back from a 3-1 deficit 2 times. So 2 teams blew those. Didn't Dallas beat the Clippers or something like that? Or am I tripping? I'm bugging. But, you know, Dallas lost to the Clippers. Denver came back from a 3-1 versus the Clippers, ended up facing the Lakers in the conference finals. LA got the job done. But like I said, everybody had an opportunity in that bubble. It ain't just like, you know, LeBron and them pulled up. They was like, hey, LeBron, ratings are low. We need you to get this one to make sure the ratings stay up. You know, that doesn't seem like that's what happened. All right, so I do think the Lakers ring was legit. But like I said, man, crazy week in sports, and somebody trying to circle the block right now on Shannon Sharpe. They're going back. Somebody said that it was a live stream he was on. He was on one of his episodes. I think it was Club Shay Shay. He said that, you know, a husband was leaving his wife because of the Usher concert. I guess it's a defamation of character or whatever the case may be, hitting him for $20 million. So all of this happening leading up to his brother's coronation in the Hall of Fame, and this is all we talking about. I see why you would apologize. Because that's tough. That's tough leading into the Hall of Fame weekend. You going back, you trying to remember all these great moments, and, you know, you dealing with this stuff, and your brother got to hear about it consistently. Now, let's get to my first point of this episode. One of the things that I wanted to talk about, because like I said, it's been getting on my nerve. It's been getting on my nerve to the point where I'm trying to stay away from making videos about the WNBA. I'm trying to stay away from making videos about Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and Paige Beckers and all these other players. I'm trying to stay away because the only thing is going to breed is negativity either way, no matter which way you go with these players. If you're a fan of one, or you say, you know, they need to make some adjustments, they need to do X, Y, and Z, it's always going to be some negativity, more so than the NBA. Like, more so. NBA, we can have an educated conversation. I had somebody in my comments earlier. Michael Jordan versus LeBron. Educated conversation. Some of those conversations do go left, but a WNBA comment section, everything's going left. Everything's going left. And one of the things I'm seeing happen with Candace Parker, everybody's looking at her the same way the NBA looks at Shaquille O'Neal, except for she's spitting facts. She made a list of players. I think it was the top 10. She said, hey, me personally, I don't see her above Asia Wilson, you know, Kalir, Paige Beckers. I don't see her. I don't either. I don't see her above Paige Beckers. Sabrina, Stewie, you know, she had her in a lower tier in a group of 10. Doesn't mean she's at the bottom of the league or anything like that. She's just not better than those MVP and championship caliber players, and then superstar players that were named. And then there's a conversation, well, you had Caitlin Clark higher up on the list. Well, she's the cash cow. That's just the way it works. Now, Angel Reese is on the cover of NBA 2K26. Angel get to the money, right? We know Angel get to the money. She in the mentions, whether good, bad, or they ugly. Somebody in a baseball game was doing commentary and they brought her name up. So yeah, she talked about a whole lot. But the thing that bothers me about the WNBA is you can't say a single negative thing or something that would be perceived as negativity, because they're gonna cook you. No matter what, you are going to get cooked. So in my personal opinion, I just rather not deal with the negativity. But there was a conversation. Aaliyah Boston, for the Indiana Fever, forward or center for the Indiana Fever, was sitting down with Candace Parker on their new podcast, and he was chopping it up. And Candace Parker mentioned the All-Star game. Now, if y'all remember, All-Star game, these were the images that were shown, okay? They wore these shirts saying, pay us what you owe us. They were doing interviews saying, pay us what you owe us. They were saying, hey, we deserve to be on the same level as the men, not making 30, 40, 50 million dollars a year. No, we deserve the same revenue split that the men get with their owners. That's fair, because you can argue for that, right? Because guess what? $3 billion TV deal. That's just the TV deal. That doesn't include merch, ticket sales, and all those other things. So yes, you can make a case for a 50-50 split because the growth of the game over the last handful of years, now you're seeing that type of money. You can make an argument for that. But Candace Parker had another take that I hadn't really thought about. Because on one hand, pay us what you owe us. The conversation's been surrounding just the money aspect, the message, right? And then on the other hand, people are talking about how bad the game was. Didn't even put 2 and 2 together. So Candace Parker had a conversation. This is what she said. Oh, snap. Where we at? All right, we're going to pause that. Go right here. All right, let's talk about it.
There with those shirts of pay us what you owe us, and then do that in the All-Star game.
No. Here's the thing. We come out every single night and we show why we deserve the money we deserve. An All-Star game where when we have another game in 2 days, I think that is okay to just go out there and hoop and have some fun. Because on Tuesday, we were back at it. And we were playing. And we were showing once again why we deserve.
Real quick, hey, if you popping in here, you got to drop something in the chat. If you popping in here, drop something in the chat. Say what up. Appreciate y'all. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, stick around for some content.
To get paid.
I think on one of the biggest stages with people tuned in an all-star setting that was invested in more than any other all-star game previously, without Caitlin Clark, right? She was not playing. I think it was an opportunity to really go out there, and it was an added opportunity. It's not going to subtract anything, but I think the narrative on Monday would have been, well, how come the guys don't play in the All-Star game? How come these ladies come out there and they hoop and they understand their responsibility? Like, I just think that it would have really maximized the moment of wearing the shirt along with giving the product. Because I tried to watch the All-Star game, I'll be honest. But after one slow Euro step and people pulling up for I was like, I can't. I'm a fan of the WNBA and I can't watch this. So I just think that, no, you all didn't have to. But I think it was an opportunity that you could have built on, like, more momentum, if that makes sense.
No, it does. It does make sense. But live, laugh, and love.
And here's my response to that. They cannot think that they can play by the same rules and win this argument. That is what I keep trying to get across. They keep thinking that, all right, and she just said it. Look, we got a game on Tuesday. It's the All-Star weekend. We can chill, do whatever. All right. No. You wore a shirt saying, pay us what you owe us. Okay. You have our attention. What do we owe you? Because guess what? Like she said, Caitlin Clark not playing. The cash cow is not here. So what do we owe the rest of you? What do we owe you? And I'm only saying that specifically because I'm speaking as if I'm the owners, not my personal opinion. I'm thinking, even with Caitlin Clark sitting on the sideline, there's some great basketball being played, or should be played. The way I see it is this. You have that on your shirt, and then you go out and you have the performance that you did. Nobody's gonna watch on Tuesday when y'all go back to hooping for your teams. Nobody cares because you just turned off that audience. That's it right there. You ever go to a restaurant, you sit down, and they completely bomb the appetizer. Either you're thinking, all right, you know what? I might want to leave right now. Or you look down the menu and you find the safest thing, which is chicken fingers and fries. You're not going to sit there and order a full meal to also be disappointed by that as well. No, the appetizer told you all you needed to know about the place you eating at right now. The WNBA keeps trying to play by the same rules that the men play by. It is not fair. I agree. It's not good. I agree. It doesn't make sense. I agree. but you still got to learn how to play the game the way the game's being played by the owners if you want to get the money from them. You only making 9%, and you're thinking, okay, cool, I'm going to go out in this all-star game, flash that on my shirt, and not back it up. I remember when the Clippers, that came out, all the news was swirling around, right? All the news was swirling around about Donald Sterling. They came out in unison, took it off, threw everything down. You didn't see their jersey name on their t-shirts. Threw their warm-ups on the ground. Warmed up, stone-faced. Played the game. After the game, then they send a message again. And they keep hammering it home. You remember those moments, right? Statement moment, and then they played the game. It was a regular season game, right? Could you imagine if they did that and then like they just joked around, they was laughing on the bench, laughing during the game, not taking it serious, pulling up from half court, you know, throwing no looks that shouldn't be no looked and things like that, made a joke out of the situation. Everybody at home, they wouldn't feel connected to that. They wouldn't be able to stand behind that because they don't really take that moment serious. Well, it was just a nice little moment, but they ain't really take it serious. They just joking around about it. You cannot play by the same rules as the men. This is what's bothering me about that entire league, simply because they don't have anybody telling them this stuff. Candace Parker says it now, she hating, but everybody online said the All-Star game was terrible. Could you imagine? I think it was 2001 All-Star game. Kobe Bryant, Stephon Marbury, Allen Iverson, KG, Shaq, Duncan, and all them, right? One of the greatest all-star games of all time. If they came out and had that type of performance after the message that they sent, them negotiations is going to look a little different come Monday. Guarantee it. Because so many times we see players in situations where they're negotiating for more money, right? And here's one thing I'll say about Jonathan Kuminga. I'll get to him in just a second. You see players negotiating for more money. They don't perform. The owners say, see, I told you. Then, all right, cool. You don't want to pay me. I'll go somewhere else. They'll pay me. I'll perform like this for them. Become an all-star. Told you. You should have gave me my money when I asked for it. But now you see players like this. Jonathan, I'll talk about Jonathan Kuminga for just a second, where his situation is, I think they know he's going to perform. I think they knew that. That's why coming into the situation, cut his minutes, cut him out of the rotation, say we don't know what we got for him. That way we don't have to pay him a certain amount of money. We don't have to make a trade deal if we don't want to make it. Pay him whatever we want. He'll take it, and he can stay here, and then we'll give him his minutes. I think that's what happened with him. But on this side of things, when you have a moment like that, then you perform, you go to them and you say, now what? Because guess what? Their cash cow wasn't playing, and we still did this, had everybody on the edge of their seats, ESPN talking about us the next morning, not just our t-shirts, but the game that we played. Come on, man. Y'all got that money in the bag. Wouldn't be no more. You couldn't even have a back and forth for that. You couldn't. You could not have a back and forth for that, because guess what? It is the best players in the world playing at the absolute highest level. You got to pay them. You got to pay them after that. Now, from one thing to another, all right, one hot topic to another hot topic. We're going to talk about the Michael Jordan stuff that I was talking about. I dropped a video yesterday talking about why Michael Jordan, in my opinion, was the greatest of all time. Now, I went through and I talked about, hey, you know, Scottie Pippen was not the sole reason for his success. He was a reason. He's part of the team. Great player. You need great players to win. But the conversation should be, because, you know, everybody likes to take the 6 championships out of it, right? Conversation should be, all right, then, who was Michael Jordan outside of that? Who was Michael Jordan before Scottie got there? MVP candidate every single year. All-star every single season. Defensive player of the year candidate. You know, he was top 10 one year. Defensive first team. All NBA first team. He plays 65 games 1 year. No, he missed 65 games his second year, goes into the playoffs versus the Celtics, 44-6-6. Great performance versus an all-time great team. Then you get to the part where you say, okay, Michael Jordan with Scottie Pippen. We get to the playoffs. We face all of this adversity versus the Pistons. We conquer the Pistons. We retire, or Michael Jordan retires, comes back, faces opposition in the Orlando Magic, loses in embarrassing fashion. Then we're going to come back the following year. Record season, 72-10, MVP, finals MVP, best record of all time at the time, win the championship, scoring title, all that, right? Then we go into the latter stages where we talked about, you know what? He has the accolades. He has the statistics. And then you look at the fact that his whole career was based off basically understanding that, you know what? I failed this many times, come up short this many times, but I haven't quit. That's what made us fall in love with Michael Jordan. Not just, his perfection, his perfect record in the NBA Finals. Nah, we messed with Mike simply because, you know what? This dude failed, and every time he just kept coming back better and better and stronger, and then it turns into 6 for 6 in the NBA Finals. That ain't the end all be all. We're not counting his rings for that reason. We count them because guess what? Got his butt whooped in the 80s. He was still hooping as an individual. Took his team and said, hey, this is what we're going to do. We got to work hard. We got to grind. Me and Scottie, we're going to face each other every day in practice. Then we're going to take our game to the next level. That'll take our team to the next level. And then we're going to start winning championships. And that's exactly what they did. One thing that bothers me is, and you know what? I'm going to say it after I go through this next thing, because when you look at the Chicago Bulls, the one thing that everybody loves to bring up is the fact that you say, all right, who did they play? Now, en route to 6 NBA, championships, they had 16 50-win teams that they had to go through, okay? You look at, pretty sure it was the Pistons and the Lakers year 1 were the 50-win teams here. Yep, 50 and 32. 58 and 24 year 1. Then this is the second championship in the three-peat. And in my opinion, I don't know if this gets talked about enough, but I think this is actually Jordan's best season. Froze up on me. But that next year, I think they faced 3 50-win teams in the playoffs. I think it was the Knicks, Cavs, and Blazers, if I'm not mistaken. Miami wasn't there yet. Yep. 51-31. 57-25. And then 57-25. I'm just looking at the record. I ain't going in depth to the teams because me personally, I know who were on these teams. So we're not doing all that. All right. Then this year, were the Hawks 50-win team this year? Or were they 40-something? 43 and 39. Yep. So they don't count. So Cavs, Knicks 60 wins that year. Phoenix was definitely a 60-win team. That was Chuck. Chuck was going crazy that year. What was Chuck doing in the playoffs? Pretty sure he had like a 40 and 20 game in the playoffs. Something crazy. (26-13). That's tough. Now, this is what everybody loves to talk about. This is what everybody loves to bring up in the Michael Jordan argument. Hey, when Michael Jordan left, the Chicago Bulls still won 55 games, got to the playoffs, and was 1 win away from going to the conference finals. Let's talk about it, because guess what? you still had the infrastructure of the team. The only person that was missing was Michael Jordan. What up, eye test? My dog in here. Go check out the eye test after this video. Don't leave in the middle of my video. After the video, go check out the eye test and his content. Dope stuff. Dope content. Without Mike, okay, this is what it looked like. So Scottie Pippen, 22, 8.7, 5.6, 2.9 steals. Horace Grant, 15 and 11. BJ Armstrong, 14 points, 4 assists. You added Tony Kukoc. He was not there when Mike left. You added Tony Kukoc. You brought in Steve Kerr. You brought in Luke Longley. You still got Winnington, Cartwright, and all them. You still got Purdue and Paxson. You still got majority of your team that you had when you won the championship. And the only two pieces you're missing are right now. Well, actually, no, it's a couple pieces, but we'll get to that in the following season. But right now, you're missing Ron Harper, and you're missing Michael Jordan and Dennis Rodman. That was, the three from the second three-peat. But here's the thing right here: 15 and 11, 12.5 field goals per game, 12.3 for BJ Armstrong attempted. That's only 2 higher than their regular season average when Michael Jordan was there. So they're only getting 2 extra shots. So it's not like, following season, they go 47 and 35, but Michael Jordan on championship. Albeit Dennis Rodman's not there yet, but you add in Michael Jordan, you go from 34 and 31 and you finish 47 and 35. The man played 17 games and he finished 11th in MVP voting. Now people gonna say that's glaze. Fine. Say that's glaze if you want to. The man went 13 and 4 and got his team out of the 8th spot. I mean, I don't know what else you want. The following season, 72 and 10. This is after you lose to the Orlando Magic. 72 and 10. You played the Miami Heat. All right. You played the New York Knicks. Got to get that lick back. 47 and 35. Orlando Magic. Sweep them. Get them out of here. That's a 60-win team. Yikes. They got Shaq, Young Penny. They had Brian Shaw, D. Scott, Nick Anderson. Pretty sure that was the year. That was the year Nick Anderson missed those free throws. That wasn't the year before he missed those free throws. I mean, 30, 6.6, 4.3. Got back to getting in his bag. Dennis Rodman, he only averaging 5 points, but he getting you 15 boards a night. You're getting 13 from Kukoc, 19 from Scotty. Scotty falls back into that number 2 role. Nothing wrong with that. But everybody seems to function better with Michael Jordan at the helm of it. Now, we can go on all day about this, but the next thing I want to get to, you look at Michael Jordan, all right? As an individual, some of his records. Scoring average in the NBA Finals, 41, 1993. I already talked about this, 30.1. Highest points per game in the playoffs, 10 scoring titles, 7 straight, 63 in the playoffs versus the Boston Celtics. 6 finals MVP, 9 all first team. We know his scoring. And people say, all right, what did Mike do outside of scoring? Well, the name of the game is score more than the other team. And he happened to be the greatest of all time at it per game. I don't know what's so wrong about that. I seen something that said he had the highest free throw percentage in the playoffs. I got to double check that because I don't believe that. But they had him around 88.5 or something crazy like that. Let me see. Michael Jordan. All right, let's check for the playoffs. Dang, yeah. 8.2 free throws per game. That's most all time. So he was getting to it. But I think the biggest thing with me in the Michael Jordan and the LeBron James conversation is not, and I think we know Mike has the stats. We know he had the talent. this nonsense about he couldn't go left. He went left all the time. He went left, and don't let him go left baseline. You get yammed on. Had the skill. He was doing double pump middies off the glass. He was going up for layups, moved it over here, went under, and then on other. He was doing crazy stuff, and everybody like, oh man, everybody can do that in today's game. All right, no, they can't. No, they can't, because they're not going to be efficient at it. The man was shooting 50% for his career, 49.7 to be exact, for his career, and he was living in the lane. He was shooting a bunch of mid-range shots, and he was still putting up 30 a game. And everybody likes to talk about, you know, hey, he's not going to score like that in today's game. We just watched SGA do that. Similar style. We watched him get to the mid-range, get to the rim, draw fouls. Mike's game was centered majority of the time around that aspect, his mid-range game. At one point in his career, he was shooting about 75 to 80% and just fadeaways. Just fadeaways. And that's one thing that players don't understand about today's game is how to do in today's game is get to your spot. You don't have to handle the ball for 14 seconds. Get to your spot, raise up. There's nobody in NBA history, I don't care who it is, as great as Michael Jordan as getting to his spot, raising up, but raising up with elevation. The man early in his career, the 80s Michael Jordan, was raising up like he was about to dunk, but he was standing at the free throw line for a jump shot. He was that high on his jumpers. In today's game, he can get his shot off anytime he wants to. He's fast, he's strong, and he had bounce. He's going to be able to get to his spot because he also had the handle, he also had the IQ, he had the creativity, he could hit tough shots, and he was going to be efficient at it. And don't tell me about, you know, Rudy Gobert standing at the basket, Giannis and all them standing at the basket. All right, well, he had to go through how many Detroit Pistons get to the rim, and he was getting knocked to the ground. He was going to go through Mutombo, Mourning, you know, Patrick Ewing, Mutombo, all these dudes waiting in the paint for him. Sigma. I mean, all these dudes is waiting for him at the basket, right? Biggest thing for me in the GOAT conversation is what the media and all of these analytical nerds is taking away from the game is growing up, the greatest of all time made me feel something when I watched that player play. What did I feel when I watched that player play? What did I feel watching Kobe drop 81? What did I feel watching LeBron and LeBronto? What did I feel watching D-Wade in that Dallas series? What did I feel watching Michael Jordan? What did I feel? How did that make me feel in that moment? And then that becomes, man, this is my favorite player. And then you go up, all right, well, he got stats, he got all this other stuff. But wait a minute, they were saying he was the greatest of all time before he even won a championship. So there's a lot of layers to it, but simply we need to get back to the point where we say, how did we feel? And this is me saying I'm learning to do this because I want to be able to respect everybody's basketball opinion and not go crazy on it. I want to be able to respect the fact that somebody else's, you know, GOAT is LeBron, Kobe, Kareem, Larry Bird, Dr. J, which we'll talk about those two in just a minute. Kevin Durant, but this whole thing about, man, you just don't know basketball nah, that ain't gonna fly no more because it's a cop-out. That's a cop-out. And it makes me think you don't really love the game. You just want, you know, what you can get out of this argument. You want to be, you know, the smart one, the intelligent one, make everybody else look stupid. I don't need to have that conversation. Me personally, this person made me feel something when I watched them play. The only one that I'm not giving, you know, credence to is the dude that said Paul George was his GOAT. We got to address that at another time. Going into the main event, we got to talk about the Mount Rushmore of the small forward position. Before we get into that, all right, check out this ad one more time. Make sure you get this video a like, subscribe to the channel, click the link down below to get discounts on brands like Fanatics, Dad Game, and Dubby. Check this ad out real quick and I'll be right back. All right, what's good, everybody? Back. We about to get into this Jeff T conversation, see what he was talking about.
All right, man. Love Drake, Kevin Durant talking about his Mount Rushmore of small forwards. That's what we need to talk about. Stuff like this.
Mount Rushmore of small forwards.
Start with this one, like everybody else.
Shout out my dog, Chris Hendo.
Small forwards, threes. You're in the Mount Rushmore. I don't want you to be modest. You're in the Mount Rushmore. So who are the other three that join that Mount Rushmore with you? LeBron, Kawhi, Larry Bird. I like that.
Okay, some notable people who got left off this list: Melo, Scottie Pippen, Paul Pierce, Dominique Wilkins, and Elgin Baylor. How you feeling about that?
I like his list.
I was about to say I like his list.
Man, listen. I forgot to put him in there too. We need to start having conversations about Elgin Baylor. We need to start having conversations about Elgin Baylor. All right? Because it's getting dicey out here. It's getting dicey out here. We're being too casual with the disrespect. All right? I need to go back to Basketball Reference because I want y'all to see what Elgin Baylor was doing. I just said that boy at 890. Shout out to the subscribers, man. Appreciate y'all. It's all love, man. All love, 100%. Let's talk about Elgin Baylor real quick. I'm let them finish, but 11-time All-Star, 10-time All-NBA, Rookie of the Year, all this other stuff, 75th anniversary team member. What people don't realize was Elgin Baylor was a part-time hooper. Elgin Baylor was hooping part-time and putting up those numbers. Why was he a part-time hooper? The man was still serving in the military, and he could only play if they were playing on the weekends. He could not participate if it was not a weekend game. So he would do his service all throughout the week, come Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or whatever. The man was pulling up to drop 20 games. 30, 15, something crazy like that. Part-time. Still played 846 games. All right. But Elgin Baylor was putting up, 27, 13.5, 4.3. Y'all, in case y'all can't see it, that says 6'5", 225 pounds. Let's understand what that means. The man was putting up Giannis Antetokounmpo numbers at 6'5". And he was doing it part-time. Pretty sure this is one of the years where he was not able to participate too much. It was this one, and there was another one. I think it was this one right here. Then he got hurt somewhere in here. This man was doing this part-time. This is year. Correcting myself. It was for one season. He was doing his service, could not participate too much often, played 48 games, 38.3, 18.6 points per game, 18.6 rebounds per game. Excuse me, I'm too hyped right now. I'm too hyped because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Let's look at this. All right, I'm gonna take it from what? He was 30 years old, 24 to 30, all right? If we look at just 24 to 30, I don't even know if there's not even a player in NBA history doing this, let alone for the career. NBA history, there's nobody doing this. You can talk about Wilt Chamberlain, maybe. All right, cool. Let's talk about Wilt. But 30, 15, 4.3 assists. That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make remotely any sense to be 65 and you averaging 30 and 15 across 7 years. Get out of here, man. Get out of here. Get out of here. That don't make no sense. So, excuse me, Elgin Baylor, you have entered the chat. You have entered the chat. All right. Let's get back to this, though.
I'm rolling. I'll probably put Pippen in there, though.
Yeah, I'll probably take
Pippen not in this conversation.
I'll take Pip over Kawhi.
Yeah.
I'm not rolling.
You like Kawhi?
No.
Yep.
Only reason
Why?
I say Pip is because Kawhi don't got that many games, bro. He sit out a lot.
This nigga.
Just for the sake of a conversation, I'm taking Kawhi.
It mess up his stats.
Why?
Cause bro, he went and got a chip, bro. That's tough.
He got 6 of them.
I agree. I don't disagree, but I feel like if Kawhi was with Jordan too, it could.
But Kawhi got it as the first option when you see Pippen do that. That don't matter.
It's Scottie Pippen.
Scottie Pippen was runner up for MVP when Michael Jordan left, and they still won 50-something games.
That's facts.
Scottie Pippen literally changed the whole franchise.
He literally did.
Hold on.
Now we getting disrespectful to the part where it was Scottie that changed things. No, it wasn't. Michael Jordan changed the franchise, and he was arguing with the front office to not tank, let him hoop, let them try and win games. They were tanking so that it can be bad enough to get high draft picks. That was the goal. Scottie Pippen didn't change too much because the year Mike won MVP and Defensive Player of the Year, Scottie Pippen didn't start a single game. Averaged about 8 points. Minimum impact. Did not do much. Then he started starting. He averaged 15 and played the Pistons, and he clinched up. Then when Mike was gone, they played the New York Knicks, clinched up again. A team that never beat them while Mike was there. I'm not rolling with Scottie Pippen. Kawhi Leonard is definitely better than Scottie, but didn't play as many games. You're going to get him with that. Got 2 championships. Yeah, he was the guy in Toronto. I think San Antonio chip was simply because he was guarding LeBron. The one in Toronto, he did go through Philly. So let's look at this, okay? Because if Kevin Durant didn't get hurt, I'm not saying that Golden State would have beat them. I'm saying you look at the bodies he lined up at his position. I'm not talking about just guys and names on the other team. I'm talking about bodies he lined up. That playoffs, you go from Jimmy to Giannis to Kevin Durant. If you lined all 3 of them up and knocked them down, now we talking about, all right, put him on a Mount Rushmore or put him ahead of Scottie in the rankings. Rankings are a different thing because rankings take into account those championships, whether you think so or not. I'm talking about in the case, for Scottie, those 6 count for a lot more because that's just another separate video and all that. But I do have Kawhi ahead of Scottie, but I don't know if I have him ahead of Elgin Baylor. And then we got to have another conversation about a name that don't get thrown into this talk enough. Somebody who really pioneered this new style that we've been seeing for the past 50 years. He fathered this. We got to have more conversations about Dr. J, and I think it's getting out of hand. He ain't brought up too much in these conversations. We need to stop not including Dr. J. Dr. J is
He Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan didn't win without Scottie Pippen.
Michael Jordan was definitely there prior to the arrival.
I'll tell you, this for the sake of a conversation, because look, Scottie Pippen's resume is elite.
Real thoughts about it.
Yeah, I'll take Scottie though. I would too. I'm just.
We don't got to troll. I'm just saying.
And this is how you know people don't watch the game. Acting like Michael Jordan wasn't, and we're talking individuals because everybody loves to say, take the championships out of it. That's a team thing. Take the championships out of it. Mike was definitely hooping before Scottie got there. 100. You don't go to the playoffs and average 40 against one of the greatest teams of all time, and they just scoff at that. Come on, man. Buddy was putting up 44, dropped 63. Come on, sir. Let's be honest about this. All right? Stop acting like Mike wasn't hooping before Scottie got there. Because you can't say take the championships out of it and then ignore what he was doing. Either you want him in there or you don't. You can't keep dancing around opportunities and say, nah, Mike wasn't like that. Come on. It's annoying. All right? Because guess what? I'm going to have the same conversation when I do a LeBron video and somebody in the comments talking about how LeBron wasn't like that. I still say he deserved the Spurs Finals. I still think he deserved the Spurs Finals MVP, 17.8, 6.4, 2 assists, 1.6 steals, 1.2 blocks while guarding LeBron. Yeah, but that MVP really could have gone to anybody. You know what? Don't just talk about it. We got to do the homework. So I'm going to pull it up. I'm trying to make sure I'm better at this. Not just saying stuff. We got to talk about it. We got to talk about it. All right, so All right, Tony. All right, so we look at Tim Duncan, 15, 10, same amount of assists. What do you shoot? 56, 67. Kawhi was shooting 61, 50, 78. I'll give you that. Young Kawhi Leonard, MVP 2014. I'll give you that. Yeah. I'm not saying it was a landslide, but it's a fair win considering they all hooped. I 100% concede that point. 2014, give it to Kawhi. All right. But here comes the next problem. Why are we giving that spot to Scottie Pippen when Kawhi Leonard has 2 Finals MVPs in his favor? Why are we doing this? And this is the thing that bothers me. I think Kawhi Leonard was ranked 32nd on that all-time list, and Scottie Pippen was what? 29? Why? Championships don't matter. You take the rings out of it. And then they say, Mike, hey, who were you without Scottie? We got to do the same thing. Hey, Scottie, who were you without Michael Jordan? Everybody says, oh, yeah, that one time. I just explained it in a video about 15, 20 minutes ago. Scottie had the same team, basically. You just took Michael Jordan off. Then you add in Tony Kukoc, Luke Longley, and Steve Kerr. You add them in. You keep the same team. Y'all win 55 games. You lose to a Knicks team that hadn't beaten y'all when Mike was there. Following season, you get Ron Harper. You still have the championship infrastructure. Championship team. The only person you don't have is Mike at this point. You add all them up. Now you're 34-31. Okay. Mike comes back. You're 47-35 now, and you're no longer in the 8th seed. You get to the second round of the playoffs, right? The following season, 72-10, you add Mike and Dennis Rodman for a full year. They go crazy. Okay, now we're having a conversation where Scottie was doing all this. Let's be honest. And then you see who Scottie was when he went to Houston and Portland. Scottie was the third option on both of those teams. He was not the second option. He was the third option. In Portland, it was Rasheed Wallace and Steve Smith who was getting majority of the touches. Then you look at Houston. Obviously, Charles Barkley and Hakeem Olajuwon are better than him. Scottie was the third option in those situations, and he did not win. So, if we're going to say, who are you without, we got to also say, hey, who are you without him? You can't just keep saying, 55 wins when Horace Grant upped his production. B.J. Armstrong upped his production. You add in a number of other pieces that helped you win 3 more championships when that guy came back. So, I don't think Scottie Pippen belongs in this conversation, but I'm putting Elgin Baylor in play. I'm putting, obviously, Larry Bird's going to be brought up in this conversation, so we're going to let it play. But there's, like I said, we got to talk about Dr. J.
I ain't mad at Kawhi, though. I'm not mad at it.
I'm going to just roll with Scottie.
I like Scottie.
Bro, I ain't seen nobody want it done in the league, bro. He went to a city, got a ring and dipped out. That's elite.
Yeah.
That is fire, bro.
He did win a ring in Toronto.
I mean, that's cool. I'm still going to take Scottie.
Nah, he got 6 rings, bro.
He got 6 rings, bro. He got all the all defensive teams. I think he probably got a couple less than Kobe. But he right there, though.
I think he just saying Kawhi because he didn't play Kawhi so many times.
That's his error.
How many all defensive teams he got?
I think Scottie got like 8 or 9.
8.
That's it. Okay.
He don't got 12.
I'm rolling.
Yeah.
How many Kawhi got? That's crazy.
6?
Scott Pippen only got
7.
Never mind.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Nigga was
Kawhi
known
got
for
7.
defense.
You know, he done missed a lot of time.
That nigga ain't played in 6 years.
And he got
Two NBA titles.
And he got finals MVPs,
2 finals
bro.
MVPs. 6 All-Stars.
Give me Kawhi, bro.
If Kawhi played a couple more
He
years.
got 2 finals MVPs, bro. Give me Kawhi, bro.
He got a lot of shit for him not to play.
That's what I'm saying, bro. He uses word like Bell's fire, bro.
2 finals MVP, 6 NBA selections. Damn, 6 all NBA selections. Go back to
That nigga top 100 in steals, but he don't play.
He played 6 seasons, bro. That's crazy.
Go to Scotty accolades.
Give me Kawhi, bro. You right, DJ.
I'm not
7 all NBA selections, 7 All-Stars, 8 all defense team, 2 Olympic gold medals.
Bro, Kawhi and Jordan would have been
7th in
crazy.
steals. He's 7th in steals, though. 37th in assists. 65th in scoring. 94th in rebound.
Nah, Scotty
11
cold.
blocks.
His accolades are elite.
Crazy.
I'm still rolling with Scotty.
I'm gonna go with
Kawhi, a legend.
I'm going with Kawhi.
I'm going Kawhi, bro.
Kawhi number 5 for me.
Them 2 finals.
If Kawhi win,
Yeah.
But I told motherfuckers, if Kawhi win,
I'll take Kawhi over Scotty, but I don't know if. You know what? I'm gonna take Elgin Baylor out because you gotta have stats, but you also gotta have the accolades. We gotta take Elgin Baylor off of my personal list. We gotta take Elgin Baylor off. It's just this Julius Erving conversation, man. 16-time. I'm gonna put it up here. This is what I'm talking about. All right. Get this Giant Meyer ad out the way. Y'all ain't paying me yet. Watch out. Watch out. All right. This is Dr. J stuff, all right? Hall of Fame, obviously. 16-time All-Star. NBA champ in 1983. ABA champ 2 times. 7-time All-NBA. 5-time All-ABA. All-Rookie. 4-time League MVP. All defensive team he has won. 2-time All-Star Game MVP. ABA all-team, all-time team, 75th anniversary. The real conversation, let's say we allowed Kawhi Leonard to stay. All right. LeBron and Kevin Durant is non-negotiable. I don't even want to see anybody entertain that in the comments. I don't even want to see anybody entertain that at any point in time in any basketball discussion. Kevin Durant and LeBron James, 1A, 1B all time. All right? 6-time All-Star for Kawhi. Steals champ, NBA champ 2 times, 6-time All-NBA, All-Rookie, 7-time All-Defense, 2 Finals MVPs, 2 Defensive Player of the Year awards, All-Star Game MVP, 75th anniversary team. Like, how does this stack up next to Dr. J, right? Dr. J has more championships, right? I mean, I'm counting ABA because they had a lot better, more better players than the actual NBA for a lot of years. They had, kind of more talent. Like, I don't know. I'm just saying, like he said, bruh, I'm just saying, are we stacking them up against each other? 6-time All-Star versus what? How many, what's his name? How many got? Where's that? Versus 16. Steals champ, we ain't got one of those over here. All right, that's a point for Kawhi. 7-time All Defense, we got 1. Do we got 1? Yep, we got 1. So 7 and 1. That's points for Kawhi. 2 Finals MVPs. All right, 2-time ABA champ, NBA champ, 4 MVPs. They probably got, I would say Dr. J would be the Finals MVP over there. 6-time All-NBA, 5-time All-ABA, 7-time All-NBA. That's 12. Like, I'm just saying, is this enough to supplant even Dr. J? I think we should count ABA because they merged, right? They merged. All those records come over. I don't know if I would take Kawhi Leonard over Dr. J in this conversation. I think we need to start paying respect to that man. Now, this is the real conversation. It may seem disrespectful, okay? I think there's a lot more discussion being had than ever about Larry Bird. I look at this and then I look at Larry Bird's side. We gotta check, okay? This is very important. This right here. Plus, NBA Dr. J was the second half of his career. Yes, and he still balled out. Yes, absolutely. For Larry Bird, that number right there, that 3 times MVP, back to back to back, that's helping him hang on in a lot of these discussions. 10-time All-NBA, 12-time All-Star. He's got 3 All-Defense. Dr. J only has 1. 3 NBA championships. They tied in rings. 2 Finals MVP. I'll give that, as a tie because I would think Dr. J got both of those ABA, Finals MVPs. What are you? 3 MVP? Dr. J got 4. Now, this makes me question. So we got, let me see, 12 selections to Larry Bird's 10. 16-time All-Star to Larry Bird's 12. Why are we not talking about Dr. J? Why are we not talking about Dr. J? I think that's my Mount Rushmore right there. Because that becomes a snowball. Now we got to go back and talk about this ranking thing. Was Larry Bird better than Dr. J? Let's scroll down and talk numbers now. Okay, 49, 37, 88 splits, 24, 10, and 6. 24, 8, and 4, 50. Atrocious from 3, 77. See, 1,200, almost 400 more games in his career. We're going to start talking about Larry Bird now. And Dr. J, what is the conversations going to look like? What is the conversations going to look like, man? I don't know. I think we need to start saying, why is Larry Bird up here and this guy's not? I'm not saying Larry Bird don't belong in the top 15. I'm saying, why is Dr. J number 21, 20 behind David Robinson on any list? I don't care what the conversation is. Why is he back there? All right, I'm going to let them finish, but we need to start correcting some things as far as this conversation goes.
Championship in L.A., you got to put some different respect on.
Oh, he get the Clippers a chip? If he get Chris Paul and him a chip, bro,
they want a chip this year.
He has to be put in the whole.
He number 2 on the. He gonna be number 2.
3 in 3 cities, you're cold.
You gotta throw Kawhi somewhere else. You have to, bro.
Yeah, bro.
You got
Do it on his own time, bro.
If he get the Clippers a chip, yeah.
You gotta throw my
it's a landslide over Scotty. And just it's a
over a lot of niggas, bro.
To my point earlier, I said LeBron and KD, non-negotiable, top 2 at their position. If Kawhi Leonard, multiple things. If Kawhi Leonard can get James Harden, Bradley Beal, Chris Paul, and Tyronn Lue a championship and Lue another championship, and they get a championship with the Clippers down the road from the Lakers, also depending on who he beats in that NBA Finals, I think we got to say Kawhi is the second greatest small forward of all time. And I think we have to put Kawhi Leonard in that top 15 conversation. The only problem that will always present itself is how many games is bruh man going to play. And that's going to show itself every single time. Anytime we had these talks, how many games is the man going to play? He going to play, what, 40, 50? Let's look. Kawhi, he played 78 games one time. He played 78 games one time, I think. Let's look. All right, he got 72 games, 74 games, and 68. Everything else is 66 or lower. Like, this man is a part-time hooper. He is a part-time hooper. If my guy Cliff Paul can get a ring, he the best PG ever. Let's talk about that for a split second because we got time. Let's talk about these point guard conversations because Perk brought it up. He said Chris Paul is not top 10. Said he's not top 10. One thing I did agree with him on, he ain't better than Russell Westbrook. You can argue all you want to. Chris Paul, in my opinion, is not better than Russell Westbrook. Now, that being said, where does Russ rank? Where does CP3 rank? That's got to be a conversation we need to have. We could probably chop that up, next week. We can make a video for next week, talk about, rearranging the top 10 and all that. I'm joking, but I say it because I love Chris Paul. If he gets a championship, I think we should move him past Isaiah Thomas and John Stockton. If Chris Paul gets a championship, if he gets a ring, I think we can have that conversation legitimately.
Yeah, he's better than a lot of people to like crash the floor, bro.
You
name him, bro. You stab him, we grab him.
He better KD.
Yes. You stab him, we grab him.
What about Paul Pierce?
Yes.
Yeah, he already better than him.
He better than Paul Pierce.
What about
If he
Melo?
wins the championship, yes.
He already better than him.
He might be better than KD if he wins. Nah, for real. That's like 3-5.
KD, I think is the greatest player to ever touch a basketball. But if he win in LA,
that'd be 3-5.
If he win the championship on Quaco,
all the rest.
all the rest.
Nah, for real, bro. My boy be hurt. You know what I mean? But he be rested too. You know what I mean? Take it easy.
Hey, and don't forget how he did San Antonio. He said, "Oh, y'all that? I'm not playing."
He won a Finals MVP there. He's gonna have three in three different cities, bro.
That's crazy.
I don't know nobody else who did that.
Nobody else has played basketball in their terms.
Besides Bron.
Yeah, but outside of Bron, ain't too many people play basketball in the terms that Kawhi has.
Level, you saying me and Bron?
You got to talk that talk.
3 in 3 cities. I'm
yeah,
cold.
Because they team, why I said that is because they team is definitely looking like they can make some noise, bro.
Well,
that's a fact.
Technically speaking, Steph Curry got 3 in 3 cities. I'm just saying. He got the one in Cleveland. Got the one in Boston. He got the one in Golden State. That's 3 cities.
That's interesting. Better than KD if he win in LA.
I can't.
It's a good argument.
I can't go, but I respect
accolades. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Game, but
Yeah,
accolades.
Steph Curry brought a championship to Cleveland before Bron did.
I'd say just pure hoop. KD's the greatest nigga to ever touch a basketball. But if we put accolades inside of this,
You gotta say that.
Everywhere I went.
Now, and they just bring it up a ton of conversations that we need to have surrounding the game of basketball. I have always said this argument, made this parallel. Kevin Durant is the Randy Orton of the NBA. Kevin Durant is the Randy Orton of the NBA. And look at that notables list. No Dr. J. That's how you know people don't know the game. That's how you know they don't know the game. Just because they played in the NBA don't mean they know everything. So stop. All right? Now, we need to have a conversation. If Kevin Durant, without championships and everything else, take all accolades out of it, roll the basketballs out, let's just hoop. Is Kevin Durant not talent for talent the greatest player we've ever seen touch a basketball? Think about it. Find a weakness offensively, because I've seen him post up. I've seen him get in the high post. I've seen him score in isolation. Seen him come off screens and pin downs. I've seen him facilitate. I've seen him shoot from deep. I've seen him shoot from the mid-range. I've seen him get to the cup. He has a handle. He's 7 feet tall. He can shoot from anywhere. He score from anywhere. I've seen him get 50 or 60 or whatever. I've seen him have 50, 40, 90. I've seen him win championships, finals MVP at the highest level. Not just saying that, we're taking that out of it, but if you look at his numbers in those series, points, rebounds, assists, blocks, steals, all that stuff, he was contributing in a number of ways and being efficient while going against supreme talent in LeBron James on the biggest stage. So, talent for talent, skill for skill, roll the basketball out. Is Kevin Durant the greatest basketball player we've ever seen? Because we say Allen Iverson pound for pound might be the best basketball player we've ever seen, right? Up until a certain point. I think everybody's starting to lean now and say Kyrie. Also, another conversation for another day. But are we at a point now where we need to start being honest? I know y'all mad he went to Golden State. I know y'all mad. I know y'all don't like it. I know y'all mad he bounced from Golden State. Blame Draymond. Blame Draymond for everybody that leaves Golden State. The conversation can't be had. Contract caused Klay Thompson to bounce. All right. He called Kevin Durant out his name. Kevin Durant bounced. Jordan Poole is still trying to figure out where he at. Got knocked out. Got sent to Washington. Then he got sent to New Orleans. So he don't know where he at. Blame it on Draymond. Talent for talent, I still have LeBron, but like 1A, 1B. And that's cool. That's cool. But he can't shoot like KD. And he ain't got a handle like KD. So going, like I said, talent for talent, skill for skill, going down the list. I don't think, because guess what? KD can't facilitate. LeBron is a supremely talented facilitator. I'll give him that. But other than that, there's nothing that LeBron does offensively that is better than Kevin Durant. Somebody's got to tell me something. I don't know, man. I don't know.
I won, bro.
You gotta say that, bro.
That's a fact. Every team you played on, you won.
Where he went,
Yeah.
I really won.
I really did.
And I got some franchises that ain't never gonna get a chip without me. If he get one in LA, bro, I got Toronto and.
What do you mean facilitate defenses? You mean facilitate against defense or orchestrate on defense? Because Kevin Durant can play defense. He can play defense. Now, everybody loves to say LeBron can guard, LeBron can guard 1 through 5. No, he can't. Because I didn't see him guard Dirk Nowitzki, Tim Duncan, Dwight Howard. I didn't see him guard none of them in the playoffs. I didn't see him guard Nikola Jokic and stop him in the playoffs. I didn't see him guard Roy Hibbert when they was getting cooked when Chris Bosh was hurt. I didn't see him guard Kevin Garnett when they was getting cooked in Cleveland. And then when he was, I didn't see him do that. I didn't see him guard Kendrick Perkins. I didn't see him guard none of them bigs. So no, he does not guard 1 through 5. He guards 1 through 4, especially in a small ball. Stop with the 5. Stop. You're lying. Everybody's lying. KD can for sure play defense. All right, cool. So facilitating 100%, we give it to LeBron. Like I said, LeBron's the better facilitator. Don't even have to argue that. We both on point with that. But outside of that, it gets dicey, man. It gets dicey. Somebody
Chris Paul ain't gonna be like Gary Payton in Miami.
Nah, he gonna play significant minutes, bro.
GP played.
Yeah, GP played.
I'm just saying, GP played.
Gary Payton had a game winner in
I'm
Miami.
gonna give Chris Paul a little bit more love on this one because
better than Gary Payton at that time.
No.
Chris Paul a little better.
No, he wasn't. Gary Payton, when he played with Miami, was still a starter, bro.
No, he wasn't. He was coming off the bench. He was a 6-man. Jay Will was starting.
Been a starter. He
won this year with.
When he was with the Lakers, GP was with the Lakers. He was still giving teams 30 every now and then. He was still hooping. I think he averaged what? He averaged like 18 when he was with LA. Let me see. All right. The Lakers. GP averaged. All right, he averaged 15 per game in LA. Then he averaged 11 in Boston. Then he came to Miami. Okay, but he was still hooping with the Lakers. All right, he had some really good games with the Lakers. I'm gonna pull that up real quick. See, we on the same page. Said they don't know nothing about GP in Miami. I be trying to tell people, man, just because they played in the league, do not mean you got to listen to them. Let's see. 30-point game versus Cleveland. A bunch of 20-point games. But GP in Miami, all right, the biggest thing about GP in Miami is he knew he had to play. Everybody had to play a role to be successful in Miami. He played 81 games that year. Had 3 or 4 20-point games. I'm pretty sure he came off the bench. Let me see. Oh, he started versus Washington, gave the Lakers buckets, gave them 21, gave Milwaukee 20, gave Clippers 19, 17, 15, a ton of double-digit games. Game winner versus the Mavs in the finals, 100%. He had another game. He had another, other than that shot, he had a floater. I think it was it wasn't just game 3. I think he did it again in game 4 or 5. Late game situation. He got a floater off towards the end of the game. It wasn't the game winner, but it was a clutch bucket.
The Clippers, bro.
He might no disrespect. I'm just saying the level that he once was.
Yeah.
It's on GP's level now to this Clippers team.
Hey, let's stop the GP conversation because Mount brought up a good point. We still ain't got them shoes from Vegas. GP, tap in.
I never thought we was gonna get there.
I never thought GP was sad on that.
What was he average? What he average was
Y'all
like?
gotta chill.
Yeah,
he was sad.
No, Miami Heat.
No, go to the Lakers.
2005, 2006.
He said the Heat.
Miami Heat.
You said when he was on the Lakers.
No, he said when he run with my.
9 minutes his first year. He played 22 minutes his second year.
What's 05-06? That's when they won.
He's in Miami.
Right. That's when they won.
Played 29 minutes a game.
Yeah.
Chris Paul's going to play the same amount, if not less.
Yeah. Bro, he started.
You think Chris Paul going to average 7?
Yeah.
Chris Paul
going to average 15, but it's a lot of balls.
Chris Paul going to average 10 points.
He's going to average.
That's fine, y'all. But y'all acting like
What CP average last year?
He is.
This nigga played 30 minutes a game in 2006 on the championship team.
They just put him out there because he Gary Payton. He averaged 6 points.
30 minutes.
He played 30 minutes.
GP, yeah. See, I'm gonna end it off this. All right. Just because they played in the NBA, don't mean they always know what they're talking about. Let's be clear about that. On this channel, we check ourselves. We look things up. And we also watched these games. We watch film. We look up video footage. We watch full games, not just highlight reels. Get this video a like. Subscribe to the channel. Appreciate everybody that came through to watch. Appreciate everybody that's liked the video. Subscribe to the channel. Appreciate all the love. More things to come. New content coming out later on this week. Later on next week, got some special comment dropping. And it's officially August tomorrow. It's 23 days until Kobe Day. Kobe Day, we got a big live stream that's going to be happening pretty much all day long. Stay tuned for that. Man, W Stream, appreciate you in the chat, Ted. Appreciate you. Make sure you leave my channel. You go straight over to the eye test. Show him some love. Show him some love. Subscribe to his channel. It's one more for the good guys over here.